Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's my honor to be greeting you and us, bringing this message of emancipation to you, pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. Now, as you know, I always bring this message. I was taught to Neville Goddard by Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia, to you, to point you to discover your true self and to understand what it means to practice true Christianity in your life. Because Neville said that Abdullah taught him true Christianity. And as you know, that everything must be done by faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's the reason why you must persist in the feeling and assumption of your wish fulfilled. And that is what I would like to speak to you about, of how to persist in the feeling and assumption of your wish fulfilled. And Abdullah taught Neville Goddard why he needed to persist in the feeling and assumption of his wish fulfilled. For as we know, Neville was studying with Abdullah for over 5 years, but all he had was knowledge, which equals to just theory. But Abdullah wanted Neville to have experience for himself, because Abdullah knew that experience is your greatest teacher. So when Neville had this burning desire to travel to Barbados, Abdullah taught him that he must persist in the feeling and assumption that his wish is fulfilled. And so Abdullah encouraged Neville to sleep in his imagination in his mother's home in Barbados while he was residing in New York. And also Abdullah told Neville to imagine himself walking the streets of Barbados when he walked the streets of New York. But Neville was to persist in the feeling, because the feeling is the secret. And remember, it is said in the Bible that my words will not return unto me void, but it must accomplish that which I sent it to and prosper anything whereto I sent it. So when you have an assumption, it is you sending out a vibrational frequency into the world, or into the divine mind. And you ought to know that as you sow, so shall you reap. As you believe, so shall it be done unto you. And that is why you must apply faith, because persistence, or when you persist in the feeling, you're operating in faith, which means you're being faithful to the unseen. You're being loyal to the unseen. Now, one thing that Abdullah wanted Neville to understand was the fact that he's a spirit having a human experience. Therefore, if he wants to see things manifest in his life, he must hold to the feeling and assumption so that it will materialize itself because of that persistence, which is being loyal to the world of spirit. So my brothers and my sisters, that is why it is said that without faith it is impossible to please God. I remember God is your higher self, your true self. You will never be able to live in joy, peace, and happiness unless you learn to be loyal to that which you cannot see. That is why you have to be loyal to your intuition. You have to build a relationship with your intuition, that you will make the right decisions in life. Your intuition will lead you and guide you. So my brothers and my sisters, assumption would harden into fact when you persist in the assumption that it is already so. Because you're saying that you're living in the present tense. You're saying that you are eternal being, so you're not subject to time. So all of these things Abdullah was teaching to Neville Goddard in this small experience that Neville would have shared with the world. And many people say that many things wasn't said about Abdullah. But I can continue for the rest of my life sharing the experience of Abdullah and Neville Goddard and teaching you the mindset of Abdullah and what Abdullah was saying to humanity just by this one incident. Or this one experience. So as I was saying, my brothers and my sisters, it is very important to persist. So persistence is very important. Having the feeling is very important. And living in the assumption that it is already so is very important. Always affirm it. That's why affirmation is very important. Do not go back on what you would have already said. Do not allow doubt and fear to get in the way. That's why you're told that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word. And how can they hear without a witness or without a teacher? And how can he teach unless he been sent? Unless he would have had the experience. How could he teach you of something you haven't experienced? And that is why, my brother and my sister, it's very important for you to have the experience. There's so many things in my life that have been accomplished because I persist in the feeling and the assumption that it is so. So my brother and my sisters, never feel like you're lying to yourself, because Neville was questioning himself and he went to Abdullah and was saying, well, a month has already passed and I haven't seen anything happening. And you said that I've already gone to Barbados. And Abdullah encouraged him to continue to persist in that feeling and that assumption that it is so. And so night after night, Neville will go to bed and fall asleep as if he's sleeping in his mother's home in Barbados. And he's been doing it in his imagination. And he would walk the streets of New York and see himself walking Coconut Lane Street, Palm Lane Street in Barbados. And that assumption hardened into fact. And that feeling that he had, it became a fact. But my brother and my sisters, all of that was to bring him to a certain level of frequency to attract what he needed in his life to take the trip to Barbados. And that is why that letter came to him through the post. And he saw it when he wake up under his door with $50 from his brother in Barbados, asking him to come to spend the Christmas with the family. And saying to him that the money is for him to buy like a good suit and take care of his expenses, and he can go on his ship and have whatever he wants, and the brother assured him that he would take care of all the bills, teaching you how others will work on your behalf so that that goal, that dream will be accomplished as long as you persist in the feeling and assumption that it is so. So my brother, my sisters, you want to change your life, all you need is thoughts, having the right desire, knowing what you want, and faith. So all you need to do is to know what you want. You must know what you want. Be definite about what you want and apply faith. And the faith of which I'm speaking of is being loyal to the unseen. And to be loyal to the unseen or be loyal to the invisible, you must persist in the feeling and assumption that your desire has already been fulfilled. So my brother, my sisters, grab hold of your mind power and use your mind power to achieve your every desire. What is stopping you? The only thing that can stop you is self-doubt. So get rid of your self-doubt and apply this truth in your life and live a life of contentment, a life of prosperity and good health. For it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And remember, wherever your treasure is, there shall your heart be also. That's why you have to have the right feeling and emotion and persist in that feeling and emotion and that assumption for you to be able to access the treasure. It is as close as how you would feel about yourself and the concept you hold about yourself would mean whether you'll be able to see that treasure and able to go in to that treasure and take whatever you desire. So with that being said, my brother and my sisters, I just want to share this important message that was shared to Neville Goddard by our ancestor Abdullah. I want to just share the same message with you so that you will not give in or give up. Keep believing in yourself. So if this is the very first time that you listen to me and what I'm saying is really resonating with you, I would like to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, or to comment, share this video, and do not forget to like also. Now before I leave, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And it is because my whole body was filled with light when the single eye awakes within me, and I changed from mortal to immortality. That's why I'm here bringing this message to you, saying to you, you must be loyal to the unseen, because your true essence is the invisible you. For when it happened to me, it was after that great and mighty shaking, and I would have heard the mighty rushing wind, and then I ascend like a fiery being, and both my crown chakra came out of my skull and became invisible, had experienced the new birth. And that is why I always say to you, my brother and my sisters, when you have this experience, you come to the realization that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For truly the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity, for the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Then in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2, you're told also that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And truly when the sun has risen in me, it brings me to that place of bringing healing to all of humanity, encouraging each and every one to look inwardly and to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire, but you must persist in the feeling and assumption that your wish is already fulfilled. For this was the message that was taught to Neville Goddard by our ancestor Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.